This is the Crookedrivercast. I'm Robert, and the other voice you're about to hear is Tom, and we are two guys from Northeast Ohio just trying to keep track of what is going on in our great state. This is show 57 for the week of April 20th, 2026. Got lots of things to talk about today. Lots. Let's do it. In the morning, sir. How are you doing this fine day?
I am doing very good. How are you doing?
I feel a little off, to be honest with you.
Why?
Well, I'm about to start my third cup of coffee instead of my first.
Sorry about that.
The whole family is awake, and which I'm not used to while we do the show. And, I mean, most of all, I've got pants on.
Ew.
Yeah,
starting a little late today, huh?
Different start for this today's show, but that's
Yeah, I had to put some OT in this morning, so
yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I've been up for a little while, and the entire day, I heard the song in the morning, and I've been trying to figure out, like, here, this is what goes on in my head. It's crazy.
This could be scary.
Now, is it that, or is it?
No. Are you asking
Do you
me
know
which
what
one I
song?
like better? No,
Yeah.
what is that? That sounds,
You don't know that song?
Sounds familiar, but I'm not placing it.
Just Got Paid by ZZ Top.
Oh, crap.
Just
Wow,
got
I haven't
paid and
listened
got
to
my-
ZZ Top in a long time.
That's a great song, but I heard it this morning. I'm like, where's he playing that? Like, I got the notes. Or is he playing it in this position?
I like the second position better.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
where I
better.
think he's playing it, but the other, I think he goes back and forth, actually.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
the
that's
first
what-
one
that's
sounds
what-
a little more high end, in that first.
Yeah, but I think
position.
he starts it like that. And then he ends it off with. Well, that was a little sloppy, but
Crap.
so that's what goes on in my head.
ZZ Top now on my playlist today. 'Cause it's
Oh,
been a
you know
while.
what? Listen to that album, the entire album.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, that. I think that, like I said, the second one's better, but you might be right. And
Yeah,
You
well,
gotta
listen
play it
to
the way
it
he
and
plays
tell me
it.
because I need to stop thinking about it. It's been bugging me all day.
there's got to be a video of him doing it live, so you can kind of see what he's doing. Where he's at in the neck, That'd be cheating.
Yeah, I know. I try. I do that last resort whenever I'm trying to figure out a song. I do that like if I need to figure out something quick for a gig or something like that, I'll do that. But if I'm really trying to figure it out thoroughly, I try to do it with headphones on and I listen to each little nuance. And it's that one's been bugging me. It's been bugging me for a while.
Wow.
Every time I hear it, and then I forget about it. So it's not that big of a deal.
It'll go away eventually. Just it needs something else shiny to look at. That's the
you know what? You know what else?
Hmm.
We had a pretty nice week this week, weather-wise, right?
Yeah.
And got home, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I forget what day it was. I got home, decided to pour myself a little bourbon and have a cigar out on the patio. That's not really open yet, but it's, we pulled out some lawn chairs and sat out there.
open enough.
Yeah. And, man, there was this goose squawking.
Oh,
I'm like, we have a neighbor that put a pond in a couple doors down. And I'm like, well, that's where it has to be coming from. My wife's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. So we took a peek out there. And there's a goose out there just yapping away. And I'm like, why the hell is it doing that? And the only thing I could figure out is our neighbor put like a large swan in the pond, like a decoy thing. And I think she must have a nest there. So I thought of you. This thing's yelling at a freaking decoy that's floating in the pond.
Yeah, that's the way to keep them out. Is they put a swan in there. I've seen it a couple. Where were we? I think we were in Columbus. Yeah, we were in Columbus with the family, and it was one of those shopping centers, with the fountains inside. A big thing area. Well, I'm like, why didn't know? Oh, that's why. There's a couple. They put a couple of swans in there. And I guess they don't like each other. So
okay, yeah, that thing was just yelling at it, man. And I'm like,
he evicted him. that was his pad. He was going to spend all summer there, him and his bitch, and now he can't.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah. That's funny.
And
screw the geese.
You got anything that happened this week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm feeling very generous.
You are? Why?
Well, it's tax week. Last week was tax week. I feel so generous.
Took care of that a while ago.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Again, I was not planning on talking about Iran this week. All week I'm looking, there's not much going on. I mean, there's some negotiate, kind of fell through. Then yesterday happened. I don't know if you saw what happened yesterday or what's continuing to happen currently as we record. So,
actually, let's, before we get into that.
Oh, what?
I have.
That was a setup question for me, wasn't it? And I totally blew it.
Yeah. That's all right.
Am I getting pulled over? Pull over.
We have a rhino alert in Ohio.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
10 Republicans have voted for amnesty for Haitians in the U.S., 350,000 Haitians. So 10 Republicans in the House voted with all the Democrats to give amnesty to Haitians. And 2 of them are in Ohio. Just to let everybody know, one's in the 10th district. That's Mike Turner. And the other is Mike Carey in the 15th district. I'm not sure if there's a primary, if they're running this time around, but something to keep an eye out. Check into that. Yeah, this happened this past week, and I saved it, but I didn't put it in the show notes because it's the only thing that has to do with Ohio is lots of people lost their pets.
Well, yeah.
But other than that, there's Michael Turner and Mike Carey in Ohio that voted with the Democrats, and I can't find my here.
Is it going to go anywhere?
No, Senate's not going to vote for that. But you know what they're
Trump's not going to sign that.
Well, but you know what they're doing is, how they're blocking the how Trump wanted to end their temporary status.
Yeah,
they're trying to block that.
No.
That's what it seems like to me.
Okay,
so they're just trying to block that.
Well, let's get their names and we'll talk about them next week.
Yeah. I think so. I got to look into that a little bit more. I didn't totally look into it. I think the Senate's not voting for that, but when there's 10 Republicans voting with the Democrats, I don't see any other names in the U.S. In the House that I recognize there, but
okay,
two from Ohio.
Look them up and call them out, and I would imagine they're probably from the Cincinnati area. I don't know why I think that, but I just feel like that. Feels like.
Well, I think one's near the Dayton area.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. I think that's Mike Turner. I think.
Well, no, not Dayton, because Dayton mayor is pretty lefty as far as I can see. When he's talking about the Haitians and stuff, he's all kind of parodying those kind of same talking points. Oh, what are we gonna do? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm making a note of that. I want to look into that because that's kind of why we want to do this show, is to keep an eye on those kind of things where they kind of slip under the radar and no one ever pays attention. And as we've seen, as we go through the news from week to week, there's so much other crap in the way that unless you're looking for it, you won't see it.
I'm just wondering, like the first place my head goes is that they got donors that might donating to their campaign that are probably employing some of these Haitians for low wages. Or want
cheap labor, more cheap labor.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep. That would be, the Democrats want it for votes and the Republicans of the GOP want it for big business.
Yep.
Cheap labor. And And they both get to win. Oh, isn't that nice? It's almost like they're on the same team. Speaking of the same team, yeah, I don't know. It didn't work. So speaking of Iran, like, again, I wasn't going to talk about Iran, but now I have to because A, it's in the lineup, and B, all kinds of crap happened yesterday. Did you see any of it?
Well, I heard the announcement that didn't Iran announce that the whatever is open,
Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz is open.
What about the gay of Hormuz? They just keep talking about the Strait.
I know.
Hormuz.
Why you got to discriminate against the gays?
Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, Iran comes out and says, "Hey, we've kind of agreed on a deal. The strait will be open. We've agreed never to close it again, and we've agreed to let the United States or the international community come in and take the enriched uranium that is now under a pile of rubber in some mountain somewhere, or a couple different mountains somewhere in Iran." And as you start watching some of these military channels, they're watching ship trackers. There's all these ships that are kind of stuck on either side of the strait or the gay, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden now they get announced, and there's a mad dash for the strait. And a couple hours later, Iran comes out and says, "Nope, sorry, it's closed again."
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yep.
Why?
Now Trump is out saying, "Well, if we don't have a deal by Wednesday, we're probably going to have to start dropping bombs again." So Iran is saying. Now, it depends on which channel you listen to, but last night I was listening to a couple. So I watched 2 or 3 of these. I've been watching, trying to keep up on the war. And it's nice to see, you got one that's kind of pro-Trump, and there's one channel that kind of has a little bit of TDS. And the one channel was like, "Oh, well, it must have been Trump just, shooting from the hip and promising and lying and all this other stuff." And they're not crazy horrible TDS, but they've got a touch of it, And what really happened is Iran saying that we broke the deal already. And basically what they're saying is we are continuing to blockade. So the strait is open, but we're not going to move our ships. We're going to continue blockading the strait for Iranian ships only until we get a deal signed. Everybody else is free to go, and Iran was even saying, "Hey, we'll help and tell you where the mines are at." Like last week, they didn't know where they're at, but now they do. And they're saying because of that one stipulation that the strait is open except for Iran breaks the deal, and now the strait is closed again. But the other key thing which happened this week is I feel bad for all those people who keep saying that Israel is controlling Trump. Because the other part of the deal was Trump has banned, I guess is a good word for it, or he's told Israel they are not allowed to bomb Lebanon.
Right.
And then there's reports of U.S. spy drones hovering Cuba, very similarly to how they did Venezuela before we went in and took the leadership out.
Right. Yeah, that's what I heard is happening next.
And it's almost like it almost felt like, and I'm not sure it's probably not this, but like, "Oh, we're done with Iran. All right, right on to Cuba. We got no time to waste. Go right to Cuba." It's like, I don't think that's how it went, but it's how it felt. So after the strait was announced open, apparently,
okay.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I'm looking through Trump's truth feed here, and I don't see anything about that. Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, he's on. They've got a clip of him at Air Force One saying, "Hey, well, if we don't get a deal by Wednesday, we have to start dropping bombs again." But the blockade is continuing to stay up, and Iran's coming out and saying, and I watched. Well, I have a clip here about it, but it really has more to do with NATO than does Iran. With Iran's now saying yes, no, and I think they'll work it out. I think they're getting close. This is a huge step for Iran to come out and say, "Hey, the strait is open." Oh, yeah, we agreed not to close it again, and then we close it 2 hours later.
Yeah, it's the first. See, I didn't see. Why did the oil not jump back up?
It actually did for a minute. One of the clips I saw was one of the memes I saw is a Democrat donkey. He's looking at the stock market with all the red and going, he's tanking the stock market. And then when the stock market's all green, he's making his friends rich.
It is how it goes, right?
Yeah, it is how it goes. Yeah. And then I guess right around the time when Iran says, "Hey, everything's good. We're opening the strait and we've agreed on a deal." And then NATO comes, apparently, around the same time, it sounds like NATO came and said, "Hey, you guys need any help?" And let's see, Trump says, "Well, this is Trump. I think he's at a Turning Point USA or Turning Point Action is called. It was behind him." And here was Trump's response to NATO's call for if we need any help.
Now that the Hormuz Strait situation is almost over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would like some help. Thank you very much, NATO. And I told them I would have liked your help 2 months ago, but now I really don't want your help anymore. Because they were absolutely useless when we needed them. But actually, we never needed them.
Of course.
They needed us. They need us. They need us so badly. You know, it's a little bit like if you're a politician. It's hard to believe I'm a politician, but after I won, people came up to me, "Sir, I'd like to make a major contribution to your campaign." And I said, "Listen, just so you understand, campaign contributions after I won don't count." Okay? They don't count.
They don't count. And he goes on a little bit more, but it's like this is from a Fox News clip I saw on YouTube. And they go on to say what he's doing for the Strait it helps Europe way more than it helps us. Like, this is really for Europe. And Europe's saying, nah, instead of dealing with America, we'd rather deal with terrorists.
Yep.
Just leave it the way it is. We like the way it is. We like dealing with terrorists and being held hostage. And basically Trump's saying, hey, you guys are useless. Look at after all this crap we did and all the money we gave to help protect Europe from Russia. And then we go, hey, you guys mind? You want to send something over? No, we're good. So Trump goes on. He says, well, all they had was these two little aircraft carriers are all rusty and stuff. They don't really need. I asked our generals, like, no, we don't really need any aircraft carriers. We got enough. We got like 12. And I think is this the realignment that everybody keeps kind of looking into? Could we call it something new? It's not the new world order. Maybe we can
it's a Trump world order.
World order. Yes.
It is the Trump world order. That's what's happening.
It's a huge realignment. I mean, look at who's there. Who's helping us? It's Saudi Arabia. It's the United Arab Emirates. It's all these people, all these places in the Middle East who have been under the thumb of Iran for decades, as far as terrorism and having to deal with that crap. I don't know. I was talking to a lot of people, and it's kind of a mixed bag, but the Middle East will never have peace with Iran the way it is. So finally, we have somebody with the balls to do it. I don't like it, but there's a lot of things I don't like in life, but you got to do it. So I think that's where we're at with this.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, you will continue to keep track. Again, I'll probably go through all week and say, oh, I'm not going to, and then something will happen on Friday. I think Trump knows we record the show on Saturday. I think that's the thing. And he just waits until like Thursday or Friday to release anything. That's what it is. We got people in high places. No. Moving on to Ohio stuff. Well, it was a big week for Ohio governor candidates, especially two of them. Amy Acton's got herself a mighty little scandal going on here, which, to be honest with you, might be blown tad out of proportion, but hey, let's go with it. So, story is Amy Acton's team defends 2019 police visit as a simple argument amid GOP criticism. So, what's come out in the recent week or so is a report that the police were called to Amy Acton's house for a domestic disturbance in 2019, and the cops. Well, you know how he's joked that I'm not sure if she's drunk or not drunk. Well,
I think we know now.
Well, this is evidence to the point of to decide that she's drunk, because she was apparently they had a fight. And why did the police come? Well, you know what? Let's listen to we got Morgan, of course. We got Morgan of Fox Channel 5 News on a little background on what happened. Amy, they're not going to talk to Amy, but they'll talk to her lieutenant governor candidate, which is Well, Dr. Pepper, I got to call him Dr. Pepper. I have to.
Newly released police report has the Democratic candidate for Ohio governor on defense this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Damon Maloney.
And good evening. I'm Katie Houston. Thank you for being here with us at 5. Now, that report shows police responded to the home of Amy Acton several years ago. News 5's Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout looked over the documents.
Back in 2019, while Dr. Amy Acton was Ohio's health director, police were called to her home in Bexley, a Columbus suburb. A police report states that there was a domestic dispute and that Acton and her husband had allegedly gotten into a verbal argument over her extended work hours. The report states that Acton felt her husband was antagonizing her and she broke a mirror. Police say that both Acton and her husband had admitted to drinking earlier and that Acton stated that she had taken an unknown amount of prescription medication. Police wrote that Acton told them that she wanted to leave and had gone into the garage, but her husband talked her out of it.
It's problematic for a campaign to have something like this come out.
Acton is running for governor against likely Republican candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, who her team blamed for this report coming to light. Acton declined an interview, but her running mate, David Pepper, said Acton only had one drink, and the campaign says the prescription was a migraine medication.
This is sort of a desperate attempt to try and tear Amy Acton down.
Pepper said that this was just a simple argument between husband and wife.
How did the police get called during a minor argument?
Good question.
I think someone called because they believed that Dr. Acton was under threat. The police came. They saw that wasn't the case, and that was sort of the beginning, the end of it.
But Republican strategist Bob Clegg warned that this incident raises concerns about whether Acton would be able to handle running the state.
Depends on, is this an ongoing problem? Or is this an isolated incident that occurred?
Do you think that this police report shows that she's not fit to run Ohio?
Well, first of all, I don't know what happened. I was not there. The only thing that I have said is that I wish she had reported that to us. Just the police coming to a house.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, despite endorsing Ramaswamy, defended Acton.
Would you have kept her as health director if you had known about the police incident from 2019?
Well, say what I have always said, in that Amy Acton, I thought, did a good job as director. I'm the one who appointed her.
Ramaswamy's team did not respond to comment. At the Ohio State House, I'm Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout.
There's something awfully screwy going on around here.
We got a few more months.
Yeah, it's gonna get fun.
Yeah. So let's. I don't know. What do you think about this?
I think she's got a lot of skeletons in her closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Is she an alcoholic? I don't know. I mean, look at this. Every time I've seen her speak, she looks like she's drunk. She doesn't only sound terrible, but she looks drunk. Her hair's a mess. Her face is like all. Yeah,
like she's got a fat tongue sometimes, like a
her face is a little bit puffy and.
Well, I mean, gosh, Tom, you gotta be so mean. Jeez.
I was gonna say
certain times a month she holds extra water, Tom.
Really? You think so? I don't think so anymore.
Oh no.
She's a little old for that, I think.
Fair point. I'm okay, fine.
Actually, how old is she? I always attributed her look to just being an old hippie.
Yeah.
Kind of like somebody that doesn't really care about their hair or makeup or anything, but I'm just wondering if she does like to have a few
questions I had. How does Dr. Pepper know she only had one drink other than that's what Amy told her?
Well,
right. That's my first, like, okay, you believe it, Amy, but if you've only had one drink, how come you can't remember how many pills you took? She's a doctor, isn't she? I mean, technically she's a psychologist, I think. So, so it's, I think that's what her, oh, maybe not. It could be getting that wrong with the next story, which is
not a psychologist, right?
About her mother. No, she's not. That was I think there's a next story we're going to cover because this brought up a couple of other stories. Well, not a couple, one other story. And the press, we'll go with this one first. Sorry. So the Ohio Press Network is, Jack Windsor's kind of, I feel maybe blowing it a little bit out of proportion, but he is holding her to accountable and kind of bring up to the point where, he brings up he posts an opinion reported in an alleged on alleged tweets first resurfaced by Outkick and republished by Fox News. And the first thing Acton's team does is come out and say they're fake. And then they're not.
Right.
They're not fake. Yeah, so the campaign fired. So he says Acton's campaign fired off a cease and desist letter from Ellis Law Group in Washington, D.C. So apparently this is the same high-powered Democrat firm run by Mark Ellis, the architect of the Clinton campaign, Steele dossier. That's the Trump peeing on hookers dossier, isn't it?
Yep, the fake one.
Yeah, filled by Russia collusion probe against Trump and led to a FISA court abuses against Trump associates. Acton insists this is not that she's not a politician, but a doctor fighting special interests and insiders. Yet her campaign cuts checks to top Democrat outfits in D.C. swamp for what should have been a routine Ohio legal matter. How much more insider does it get? So that's a good point by Mr. Windsor. And I'm online looking at the story. I think it was Twitter, X. And in the comments, someone posts an article from 2000 about Amy. This article's from Operation Rescue, OR, Operation Rescue, which, I guess if news organizations are going to be biased, at least they can be open about it. And considering the logo has a human fetus in it, I'm guessing they're pro-life. And that's their angle. And that's kind of a lot what this article is about. But as I'm going through it, again, his last update was on 6/11/2020, and it says Amy Acton has announced her resignation as director of the Ohio Department of Health as of June 11, 2021. And it goes through and kind of picks her apart a little bit. And again, they're a very pro-life website, group, news organization, whatever you want to call them. So they go on a few, kind of tear her apart a little, talking about, oh yeah, you weren't allowed to have elective surgery per Amy Acton. But an abortion, yeah, they kept all those open.
Yep.
Abortion clinics were open, but as nothing new, but it's kind of their slant. But what I wanted to pull was they're saying she filled out on her couple things here, mental health and addiction issues. She has filled out, she checked yes on the question, have you ever, this is medical license application in March 25th, 1994. Have you ever been treated but not hospitalized for emotional or mental illness, drug addiction or abuse or alcohol problems? If yes, you must have your treatment physician submit a letter, blah, blah, blah. And there's a screenshot of it. She checks yes. Okay. Well, at least she's honest. They go on for a few other things about her, and then they go to her mom. So they do an interview with Amy's estranged mother, which is important because they don't get along. So take that into consideration when you're hearing this article and her talk about it. And a couple of things, I think, Amy goes on and says all the time how she came from a broken home and never had food and this and that. Her mom says, no, that was never the case. Maybe it wasn't the greatest food, but there was always food on the table. That's a couple of things. She says, where's the clip here? Yeah, or here's the as someone who's trained in psychology, this is Amy's mother, whose name is Donna Arthur. As someone who is trained in psychology and has done social work, Donna is troubled by the way Acton sometimes speaks in a childlike manner. And that's kind of what I hear when she speaks. I think that's the thing that makes it sound to me like she's drunk. Sometimes she talks like a little kid.
Oh, okay. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it that lady. Next time I saw a clip, I'm like, oh yeah, could go either way. She's either hammered or she's 12 or 9.
Like it's an affect? Like she's putting it on? Like I don't know if that's called an affect, but like a baby voice? It doesn't sound like a baby voice to me, or a childish voice.
Yeah, I guess I could see her point. It goes back and forth for me. There's times when she sounds like she's sounds like she's a little slow sometimes.
Well, she definitely sounds a little slow, but I mean, so she acts like a retarded child.
Okay, we can go there. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. I would encourage our listeners to take a look at this article from 2020. It is from 2020, but if you scroll past the more current stuff they're talking about in the article and start looking at what her mom's saying, her mom kind of contradicts what Amy's saying about her childhood and how horrible it was, and she's like, no, it wasn't really. Yeah, there was a couple of guys that they weren't nice and this and that, but it wasn't what Amy. And of course, she's probably defending her own self. But I thought it was pretty interesting, and the fact that her estranged mother thinks she talks like a kid sometimes. I thought that was quite funny.
You know what's this is going to be an interesting few months here coming up, because she wasn't really scrutinized during the COVID thing. She was just I wouldn't say scrutinized. I would say villainized.
Yeah.
So now as she runs for governor, I think there's going to be a lot of things coming out about her that before people just didn't bother looking into it because she wasn't running for anything. So we'll see.
So this was, remember 2020, this was article. And her mom says, as a practicing Christian, she worries that her daughter is posturing herself for higher office where she might do more damage that just relicensing and dangerous abortion business or crafting overreaching pandemic orders, Acton's mother says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Never let a good crisis go to waste. She's definitely a Democrat. Definitely a politician, I should say. I don't want to just narrow it on the Democrats because
I think since we knew she was a lefty, right? I mean, that was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But I blame DeWine for
absolutely
taking any of that, what she did, and authorize it.
How does he pick her as a health director, as a pro-life Republican, when she literally helped fundraise for Planned Parenthood and abortion clinics or whatnot? Like, how does he put her in?
Rhino alert! Rhino alert!
Sure, I think that goes past Rhino. That goes past Rhino. That's something, I don't know. It's pretty obvious. If you're pro-life, why would you appoint the health director of your state that you're in charge with who's pro-abortion? It doesn't make any sense to me. So DeWine, absolutely. Oh, DeWine's not too bad. He's cool. He's a Republican. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess when you have you're voting for basically Democrat versus a little less Democrat.
Right.
Yeah.
The only time in state history that the state legislature had to revoke an emergency order from a governor was during COVID. Don't remember, guys, people, DeWine did not remove the shutdown order. The Ohio State legislature, the Republicans in the Ohio State legislature voted to cancel it. First time ever in the state.
And that's only because we have a supermajority. Yeah. That's the only reason we were able to do that.
It would have lasted 6 more months, I would think, something like that. I mean, he was debating removing the lockdown orders, but
right,
that's as far as he ever got. So, thinking of that time, that's what I'll say. Back in 2019, back in the time before COVID, it was so much different.
Oh, 2019 was rocking, man.
Yeah,
it was rocking. It was good times, man. The economy was booming. I mean, everything was. It was just so good at that time.
I know it's crazy. Like companies were fighting over employees,
right?
Trying to outbid each other.
Yep.
And then COVID hit. Oh, what a coincidence. And it all went to crap. So let's keep an eye on Amy. I think this is probably just going to go away. It is just a domestic dispute. Now, I think if the neighbors are calling the police, it's not just a normal argument.
No. I mean,
He's
you don't call
things off the wall and stuff like that.
You're throwing stuff. You're yelling. There's yelling that's louder than arguing.
Could you imagine her screaming just at the top of her lungs? No wonder why the neighbors called the cops. He's probably going nuts. Ugh. And all over what? She
could be totally irrational when she loses her temper or loses her cool.
Yeah, there's a chance she's not, but there's a chance that she doesn't. But I'm leaning on the side that she's probably definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. What was I going to say? I think that was it. I don't know. Oh yeah, all over what? That's what they're asking. Why? What was the argument over? The amount of work she had, her workload. To me, this is the key. I think her husband's complaining when she was health director that she's working too hard, and now she wants to be governor.
Is she still married? I never asked that.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't say that they're divorced or anything, so I would hope they would put that somewhere in the article. But then again,
yeah, I mean,
and again, just real quick look, I don't know.
But she is the one who quit, right? So she wants to run for governor. I mean, like, what's like when the times get tough? Is she just gonna be like, I quit?
What are the chances of somebody protesting her, and what if she's governor? Like 100%, because there's always you spend 4 years in office, someone's gonna come out in Columbus and get 20 or 30 people to protest something.
I don't think so.
Are you? No, what do you mean?
I just don't think Republicans protest.
Yeah,
not the same. Not the same.
Well, they did. They did in front of her house during COVID.
That's because they couldn't go to work.
Yeah, that's a good point.
now they're working.
My point is, if they decide to have a protest while she's governor, is she going to quit? If someone comes out and says you're doing a horrible job and you suck, is she going to quit?
I mean, I guess it wouldn't be so horrible. It'd be easier to get her out.
Yeah, it's true. But then you got Dr. Pepper be in charge.
Yeah.
I think
we're still pretty. I don't like to use the word safe, but like, even with like a Democrat governor, we still got the state legislature, which could override whatever the governor wants to do.
Sure. Right. Again, she's the underdog. I get it. You always got to make sure that you pay attention anyway, because don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Hey, like, you know what? We haven't heard everything that's going to come out about Vivek yet. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I get, he did run for president, so there was a little bit there, but he never seriously contended.
Yeah, that's a good way to vet yourself as you run for president, and anything big that's going to come out, it's probably going to come out then.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
There is the whole Ohio connection, which makes me think a little bit, makes you think twice about Vivek, whatever. But on that note, the next gubernatorial candidate also had some scandals this week. Casey Putsch is in the news, like probably way more than he ever expected, and not for the things I think. Well, maybe not. You cover any of this, Tom? So apparently, Casey Putsch. I keep calling him Pooch, but I think it's Pooch. Pooched. Casey Pooched. Yeah, I know.
I don't like this guy.
He had a rally scheduled, and this is where all this came up. So I'm just going to go in the article in the order that I found all this stuff. I don't think it's actually chronological, but the article I found was from WOSU. Kind of started this whole rat hole that I got on with Casey. And Casey's a Columbus area restaurant cancels event for Ohio governor candidate, citing Hitler and Nazi comments. Okay, so let's listen to what OSU, WOSU public media has to say. That can NPR, PBS, so take it with a grain of salt. But here you go.
La Chatelaine, a Columbus French restaurant and bakery, announced it canceled an event for Republican candidate for Ohio governor, Casey Putsch. The restaurant CEO cites Putsch's comments on Nazis and Hitler. Putsch was supposed to hold a meet and greet, but backlash on social media prompted CEO Charlotte Harden to cancel it. Harden says she wasn't aware of Putsch's comments that she says sympathize with Adolf Hitler. In a viral video, Putsch asks X's AI chatbot about the good things Hitler did and becomes angry when the chatbot says everything Hitler did was defined by the Holocaust. Harden says the restaurant celebrates World War II veterans and hosts politicians of all beliefs, but Putsch's comments were not
all
okay.
Beliefs?
This gentleman really likes to ruffle people's feathers. People spoke out, and with our beliefs and what we stand for as our family and our employees, we couldn't have that.
Putsch has rescheduled the event for Goodale Park Friday at 5:30. George Shilcock, WOSU News.
I don't think Casey was touting how great Hitler was. I seen that video that they're talking about. And he's asking, he's talking about AI and how they program it biased in a biased way. And here's how we're going to prove it. Tell me some. He asks the Grok and asked, the question. They said, show me some things Adolf Hitler did that were good. And they said, blah, 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 that anything's going to be viewed as in the Holocaust, light of the Holocaust. And he's like, there you go. There's not one thing that Germany did during Hitler's reign that wasn't good. That was good. And we talked about this before, I think, on the show. Yeah. Every time you go on the highways, there's one thing. Now, does Hitler get the credit? Sure, but was he the one who thought that up? No, I'm sure it wasn't. He's the one who wanted it. He wanted the Autobahn is what he came up with, or somebody did, and he took the credit, most likely.
He let it happen.
Yeah, he let it happen. And, he pushed it, and that, that's what a leader does. Even a despicable, disgusting one like Hitler. And what he wanted, it wasn't for good travel. He wanted it so his military can get across the country quicker. So they put all these rules in the grades and the turns and how the off ramps, on ramps are. That's all because of Germany. Here's another one that nobody wants to talk about. All the disgusting research that they did on humans during the Nazi regime. Mm-hmm. Most of the world used a lot of that research to figure all this stuff out. They did disgusting things that we would never do as far as testing. Instead of using on animals, they did it on humans, which is horrible. But we used that technology or that information to create medical treatments. You know what? The United States brought over all the German scientists right after the war. And Russia, Soviet Union, and America fought over these guys. And the Artemis moonshot, I don't think we would have gotten there. Well, maybe by now we would have. The only reason we made it to the moon was because Germany. So it's like... So says you. Well, the reason we got rockets is because of Germany. Regardless of the moon thing or not.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Yeah, please lighten it up a little bit. So I get what they're saying, but he's not going to go, love Hitler, they did a great job. No, but there are things that happened during that time that were good. They didn't use them for good things, but so apparently, if you just mention anything about Hitler, you love Nazis.
I think he does this on purpose.
I guarantee you, he does it on purpose. That one, I'm not sure. Maybe that's just a hyperbolic way of an example. But this next story that came up, probably, I don't know, maybe to some extent, but let's listen to. Well, let's talk about it. So this is probably before I think that he gets this canceled, because I'm looking at the dates of the story, so it might be. But it's all within a week of each other. He has another rally, or he's got a rally scheduled, and he already had it, I think. Yeah, he had it because I have a clip from it, at a beer hall. And apparently there's some issues with German history and the Putsch beer hall. Beer hall Putsch, where Hitler basically tried to do a coup or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we'll explain it in the next couple of clips. So here you go. Here's Casey talking to a protester outside of his beer hall rally, and I'm going to say this guy. If you want to visual this guy, just think of the typical stereotypical person who spends a little bit too much time in his mom's basement. Here you go.
All right, folks. So let me give you guys a little bit of context.
Sorry, I forgot. This is a clip from a Liberal Hive Mind, a YouTube channel. That's him at the beginning here. Little background on it.
All right, folks. So let me give you guys a little bit of context here. We've got a Republican politician by the name of Casey Putsch. He and his team set up an event at a beer hall in Toledo, Ohio, and instantly, as you can imagine with these leftoids, the same phenomenon as usual instantly kicks in. Remember that famous scene from Scary Movie? I see dead people. I see dead people. Well, the left-wing version is, I see Nazis. We got an insufferable left-wing buffoon who started connecting all the dots. He realized that this candidate's name was Casey Putsch, and he was having a campaign event at a beer hall, and so he came to the conclusion that it must have been a Nazi dog whistle to the 1920s Putsch beer hall that Adolf Hitler led in Germany. That's the context. Now take a look at the interaction.
Nice to see the beer hall Putsch here. Harkening back to that, huh? Like it? Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Hey, this is my friend Aaron.
Some of us know what that's in reference to.
What is it? Tell us.
That would be the beer hall Putsch in Munich back in the 1920s. It was the beginning.
You realize we're in America and Ohio, right?
Yeah, I do realize that, and I also understand the concept of a dog whistle. A dog whistle is where you say something that you don't necessarily say exactly what you mean, but it's a subtle message to a specific audience that when they hear that term, they know what you're talking about.
Well, what would you like to talk about? Because I'll just say things. I'm pretty open about everything.
Okay, that's fine. Why did you decide to call it the beer hall rally?
Because there's a political rally and we're at a beer hall.
Okay, it didn't have anything. You didn't have anything to do with an understanding of Nazi history in 1920s Weimar Germany.
It has everything to do with the fact that I'm a Republican running against Vivek, and I thought I'd come to a nice place.
Okay, that's fine. So it doesn't have anything to do with that. That's your official position.
You're wondering if this has anything to do with Europe over 100 years ago? You realize my name is Putsch, and my family came here in the 1800s, right?
I do understand.
You understand that because that's actually my name, and my family came here in the 1800s, which precedes the time of Europe you're speaking out, that actually sounds insane?
I do understand that, and I'm sure you understand that too.
Did you go in there?
Yeah, I did.
Do you see any Nazis?
I see people that came out to something that is very lightly, or very not, it is not, it is a very closely coded.
Do you want to be famous? Is that why you're here?
I don't want to be famous.
And what are you doing?
I don't even want to be.
Well, I tell you what, do this. Punch me square in the face.
Why would I do that?
Because you're here verbally assaulting me
I'm not
publicly.
verbally assaulting you at all.
And you're trying to tell everybody that I'm some sort of horrible monster because my name is a German name from the 1800s.
No. It doesn't have anything to do.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. Do something about it.
Come on. Why would I?
Then I think you need to go home. And I think you should learn more about my background, all the people I've ever helped, including this gentleman here.
That's fine.
And maybe you'll change your tune.
It's just too good. And, everything gets put into clear perspective when you see a moment like this. These people are completely insane.
And I think that was his point. Now, I mean, he did have it at a beer hall. And if I posted the picture of the graphic or whatever he posted about the event. It doesn't say anything about a Putsch beer hall. It just says Governor and Lieutenant Governor Putsch and Georgetown for Ohio, Toledo Beer Hall Rally. I've got a picture of Case. We'll put it in the show notes or on the blog. And he's just sitting there and it has a date and everything else. Well, I think, let's listen to a little clip from Mr. Jack Windsor on the Windsor Report because I think he kind of agrees with this protester. Let's listen.
Yeah, Jack Windsor's funny too.
Yeah, sometimes, come on, really? Are you that, is your head that far up Vivek's ass that this is what you're going to do?
The thing is, I need a reporter, not a campaign guy or, I just need somebody to break stuff down without bias. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I got plenty of, we're not big fans of Casey, but I can see, I don't think he's a Nazi. I mean, although he didn't, when he did ask him a question twice, and Casey did not say no, but that doesn't mean in some of the circumstances he probably answered the correct way, be like pointing out your kind of his mental illness or this guy's signs of mental illness. Or
he did okay. Yeah, handling that guy, and that guy I think was just trying to find something to go viral.
Yeah,
and he's not very good.
Well, he wasn't recording this, by the way. Casey's
he wasn't?
People recorded. No, Casey's people recorded this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He even says, I don't even want to be filmed, but he kind of gets cut off by Casey. But
I see. I didn't watch the clip.
Yeah. And it is edited a little bit from Casey's team. And it feels like they just edited it out kind of for time. They kind of, you could feel those like jump cuts.
Yeah.
Usually. So there is that. Is always want to point that out. But let's hear a little bit from Jack Windsor, because I thought maybe you get kind of similar. Like, okay, this is a little bit crazy, Casey, but I mean, he might be trying to get headlines, but I doubt he's a Nazi. But no, this is this is what Jack and his I forget who was on the broadcast with him.
It appears Casey Putsch titled an event the Beer Hall Putsch. And you go, well, his last name is Putsch. Okay. But if you just want to go over to Google and search up Beer Hall Putsch, I mean, if he did that on accident, he should also play the lottery. You catch my drift? Because the Beer Hall Putsch, also known as the Munich Putsch, was a failed coup d'etat led by Nazi party leader Adolf Hitler. Yeah. November 8th and 9th, 1923, during the Weimar Republic, inspired by Benito Mussolini's March on Rome. Hitler's goal was to use Munich as a base for a march against Germany's national government in Berlin. It was called the Beer Hall Putsch. That's what Casey named his campaign event, his rally.
He didn't.
And said something to the
absolutely didn't
tune of roll up in your German car and I'll give you a free beer.
No, he did say that.
John Handler.
So this guy, Putsch is going to take the world's most disgusting, violent, crazy human being in our existence, in Adolf Hitler, and use an event to promote something synonymous with him. You can play the ignorance card on this, but there is no way I'm going to sit here and believe that he did not know what this meant.
That was just a slight misrepresenting of the story. He did not call it a Beer Hall Putsch. He called it Lieutenant and Governor Putsch, Georgetown for Ohio, Toledo Beer Hall Rally. Now he did have a tweet, which I'll pull up here. Actually, I should probably put it in the show notes. He's got a picture of a Porsche. I think this looks like his from his channel. I think it's a 944. If my 80s or 90s Porsche knowledge is still there. Sitting in the gas station, and he says, "Drive your German car to the brewery and beer hall rally." That's what he called it, brewery and beer hall rally, and I'll buy you a beer. It's okay if it rains. German cars don't rust like Italian, Japanese, or British cars. Or British. And who drives a Russian or Israeli car anyway? He gives it Thursday, blah, blah, blah. Patron Saint Brewing in Toledo. Vote Putsch. So he did. He knows exactly what he's doing, I think, Mr. Casey.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get headlines. He needs.
Ultimately, that's what he's doing.
That's exactly what he's doing. Well, he didn't stop there. Did not stop there. Let me put this in before I forget. There we go. Put that in there. Here is another story about Casey. Definitely, whatever he did, it definitely worked. Okay, it definitely worked. Here's a story from News Channel 5, of course. Who else? Ohio gubernatorial candidate with rifle invites Ramaswamy to play Cowboys and Indians. So they start the new. You'll hear. We'll play the broadcast or the clip in a second from News Channel 5. But I wanted to play what he actually said and what he actually posted on X, because they kind of cut it off. They tell you some of this might be sensitive viewers, but they end up cutting off the part that I think they're talking about. So I have to play it. And this is I've named this Casey Feather Not Dot.
Hey Vivek, you want to play Cowboy versus Indians? Don't worry, it's Feather, not Dot.
So of course heads are melting and exploding and all that fun stuff. Morgan Trowell again is, I kind of listen to this. I kind of like how he answered a lot of these questions to Morgan, and she's trying to trap him and do her normal activism journalist. And let's hear the report. See how Casey handles it.
In a video posted on social media by Ohio Republican gubernatorial candidate Casey Putsch,
100% it's a threat.
Professor Deepak Sharma was horrified to see Putsch targeting frontrunner Vivek Ramaswamy using racist language and a weapon.
This person is perpetuating, is fueling xenophobia in the United States, and he's doing it in the most egregious way.
But in an interview, Putsch claims that he wasn't being racist nor threatening.
I am also supporting the Second Amendment and exercising my First Amendment right to make a joke that lots of people think is actually funny.
He says that people are being sensitive, and he posts a lot on social media that shouldn't be taken seriously. He posts about Indian people like Ramaswamy routinely, saying to deport all of them, including the fellow candidate.
How would that be racist? Because there are people that should be deported to all different places of the globe. And just because we might joke about deporting Vivek, how does that have anything to do with race, other than the fact that he's questionably American, and it's a funny joke too?
How is he questionably American? He was born in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was born to Indian foreign nationals who came here just to have an anchor baby. And
Sharma says dehumanizing comments have been common in politics, and policies like mass deportations have been embraced by the Republican Party and Ramaswamy.
But there is some irony to this, is that he has supported these positions, and he's supported Trump, and he's supported Trump's rhetoric, and it has come back to bite him.
Ramaswamy declined to comment, but his running mate, Senate President Rob McCauley, addressed racism in politics.
I think it doesn't matter what party you're in. We've seen political violence happen. Oftentimes we've seen that on the left. We've seen it in some cases on the right. Political violence should be condemned at every level.
Sharma says that not only does this type of rhetoric need to be condemned, but Republicans need to work with each other to combat racism. At the Ohio State House, I'm Columbus Bureau reporter Morgan Trout.
Jeez. Yeah, the Republicans need to work on their rhetoric. Yeah, they sure do. Sure. They sure do. We just talk about them calling everybody a Nazi. And then, like, if, again,
well, I got to say, Casey's, this is like why he's not a guy who should be running for governor.
I do. That's a fair point. I do like that he is running kind of, I mean, I don't know. I liked having.
He could have started, I think we talked about it right when we first heard that he's running, is like, why doesn't he start somewhere else?
Yeah. Local. County.
Local. Yep.
And work his way up. He wants to go up against Vivek. His biggest issue. He never even talks about Acton, really. It's all about Vivek.
Yeah.
And he has fair points. And speaking of
but he doesn't know how to, he doesn't know how to articulate it to the ordinary people.
Yeah, he in a lot of ways
without sounding like a dummy.
In a lot of ways, he reminds me of Trump. It just without
Trump
all
can get away with it. He has 50 or 40 years of that doing that, and people knew him. So you'll never have that again. You'll have politicians that try to do it, but they can't because everybody. Listen, we had Trump, the billionaire playboy that nobody really knew who he was. He would be on the Oprah Winfrey show. He'd go on Howard Stern then eventually, and you'd hear that he had a sense of humor. Then the WWE stuff, and then his own, not sitcom, but his own reality show. And you were familiar with him. You knew he was crass.
He's bigger than the media.
Yeah.
Trump is. He's bigger than all the news media put together. And nobody can really come close to that. I don't even see anybody. Oh, you know what? The only person I could see being that close? Barron. But he has to start, he has apart from his dad, and he's like 9 foot tall. So
there's legacy there. So yeah, he could probably get away with it. I don't know the guy's personality, but I hear it's pretty ruthless. Well, I hear, but I don't hear it. But I've seen comments that he's pretty I don't know if ruthless is the right word, but let's just say he doesn't pull punches.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any of them do, honestly, in that family.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he seems a little bit more, and he's behind the scenes, and he's just kind of soaking it all up. I can't wait to see what happens to him. I hope he turns out to be, better than his dad, to be awesome. But what I do like about Casey running is he is bringing up topics that maybe not, a different view on topics possibly. And here's the one that I pulled from his, racist beer hall rally. I figured, well, let's see. And he posts on, I think it was Instagram. He posted a bunch of clips from this beer hall rally. He probably had 20, 30 people there. So it wasn't, obviously huge or anything, but I mean, I think we can agree with some of this stuff here, but he goes off on Vivek and data centers here. This is a clip from that rally, from that beer hall rally. Surrounded by swastikas, of course. No, not really.
When Vivek Ramaswamy's running for governor, for president, all that jazz, all smooth talking Vivek with his finger, walking around like he's an overly enthusiastic amateur proctologist. Come on. And he says the Ohio River Valley can be the next Silicon Valley. That's code for we're going to stick data centers up your tailpipe and make you Ohioans pay for it. That's what that means. Thinking that we're going to think it's glamorous. But you know who's a bought-out, gutless politician? Because they say it's a prestige project and it'll make jobs. BS. The meta one going on between Bowling Green and Perrysburg, Ohio, might create 100 jobs. Might. On the way high end. $85,000 a year. That sounds pretty good, right? No. It's a $1 billion project. That's $8.5 million a year. $8.5 million a year doesn't even remotely offset the environmental impact.
What's it doing to my water?
It's going to wreck it. The farmers, the aquifers. Let's talk about farmers, because no one ever talks about farmers or backs them up. My best buddy I grew up with was a farmer. He busts his ass. No one cares about him. I do. All the forgotten people in Ohio. The aquifers. That's why they're here. Ohio is one of the top 4 places in the United States for it, because we have relatively cheap power. Good for us, right? Lake Erie, Ohio River, aquifers. The aquifers matter. It's an ocean of fresh water. Beautiful, untainted fresh water that works for farm, for us to have drinking water. Why do you think these data centers come in and offer extraordinary sums of money for particular parts of land? Location. So I bring that up because that's another way we're being screwed. It's his own little psyop, and Vivek's an actor to make us think that he's here in our best interest.
Got some points.
Yeah. That's the first time I heard him say stuff that I actually liked.
Yeah.
Usually it's kind of just best way to say it is he puts me to sleep. That was the first time I actually heard him kind of articulate things that I agree with.
My issue with him being the way he is, and I mean, this is his personality. I watched his videos, a couple of videos before he became, this, and he was kind of his personality. So I don't think he's
right.
Acting or anything. My issue though is I think somebody like him if he runs his campaign differently, it could start his political career. He could have possibly gotten on if Vivek wins. He could have possibly been a part of his administration if you do it right. A lot of times that happens.
Yeah, I just be a mayor in your town first.
Yeah, I'd like to see him on as a part of the Vivek's cabinet or whatever you want to call it. He'd be a nice voice against the data centers, but he's never going to be that way when he's calling for Cowboys and Indians feather not dot.
Yeah.
I mean, great joke, but
yeah, but it that goes over your typical voter's head.
Well, sure, yeah, it's not a joke that a politician should be making. But,
yeah,
or somebody who wants to get elected or whatever it is. So that was Casey. Casey had quite the week, I think, this week. Got the headlines. I'm not sure it's going to do much for his.
What are we, about a month away from
5th, May 5th, I think it is.
So less than a month.
Less than a month, like about 3 weeks. So next week I got to do some digging on hopefully some candidates we can put up there. But I'm getting texts from judges.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got a couple judge texts and stuff like that.
Wait. Oh, you mean campaign?
Campaign text. Yeah. Campaign
okay.
Text. So it's hot and heavy this time of year. It's going to be the next couple of weeks will be pretty important for a lot of the candidates, and hopefully we can get some good people in there and see what we can do.
Get some good people. I think the most important thing is just weeding out the bad people. I mean, we're that's kind of the same thing, but
yeah, good choices. We have some good choices.
Nationally, J.D. Vance said something which made sense, which kind of, you start getting black-pilled sometimes. And,
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I
try not to be. He said something that just kind of took me out of the took me out of that black-pilled area. But he said, and I forget what it was about. It might have been the SAVE Act, or it might have been the amnesty thing for the Haitians. I forget what it was. It was about the Congress. Mm-hmm. And he said it was something about like 40 Republicans voted yes for something that, they should have, but the ones that didn't, you're kind of pissed off about. Okay. And he's like, yeah, but you would have only had 25 10 years ago that voted, voted the right way instead of 35. So it's getting, he reminds us that it is getting better, but we're just not there yet. And this is why, I guess this is kind of why we do the show too. Yeah. It's kind of just keep an eye on these MFers.
Yeah, get it out there. Have some place to go to see some of this stuff, because it gets buried by your daily activity plus the national news. I mean, just the national news alone, let alone.
Well, the news cycle doesn't let you remember things because it's 24-hour news cycle. I mean, geez, man, we started off the show with Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, and I had no clue they reclosed it.
Opened and closed it.
In 12 hours. I mean, I knew they opened it, and then I don't pay attention for 12 hours, and it's totally different. It's like, oh, this news cycle is something sick.
Yeah, and then you take that into consideration, plus just the big stories that the news promotes on the front pages of their websites or whatever. The first few stories of the news broadcast, that's what gets everybody's attention. So by the time you get past the national news and the big state stories or local stories, all the stuff that actually matters, like probably in a lot of cases matters even more, is that little stuff. It's the bills, it's this and that, or what we're going to next. Data centers, more data center talk.
I think locally you have to pay attention, at least surface level attention to what's going on in the legislature, because without knowing that, you don't even know if your vote was, just because you voted Republican doesn't mean it was a good vote, or vice versa. If you're a Democrat, you have to pay attention to what these guys are doing.
And now more than ever with what's going on in Ohio, we're just about to segue into data centers. People are starting to realize how important their city council meetings can be.
Well, man, I feel like we started this, Rob.
You think? I'm going with
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was funny because when we started talking about it, it was right as, we started hearing about it and we started talking about it as soon as
a year ago.
There's been like a rebellion since we started talking about it. So
it has to be us then. The evidence proves
it. It has to be us. It can't be all these other news networks that have mentioned it.
Our correlation is definitely causation. Definitely.
No, I wish, but it feels like it though.
We had a little bit to do with it, at least a little bit. It might be a very little, but it's a little.
You take a look at where the downloads come from in Ohio, and it's surprisingly spread out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting people in Bowling Green but Dayton and
Cincinnati,
near Chillicothe and all that to be listening to us. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And this next one, again, more examples of why local is the most important. Actually, this story comes from Yahoo, but the next clip we're going to hear from the city council meeting comes from our webmaster. Sent us the link to the X post from, we'll get to it in a second, but this is it also had a story behind it, which I found Yahoo News, not in my backyard. Ohio residents force vote for year-long moratorium on local data centers. Well, I think we'll start out with this. So this is Ravenna County, residents of Ravenna, Ohio, united to stand up against big tech in its seemingly countless proposals to build new AI data centers. So what happened is April 10th, in a meeting in Ravenna City Council, the town's planning committee advanced a year-long moratorium on new data centers after residents coalesced to show their concerns over resource use and all this other stuff. So what our webmaster sent to me was this. This is Mr. Hollings. Wait, I have it in my notes. I even wrote it down to make sure. Yeah, Mr. Hollingsworth. It's a bit long, but I think it's worth it because I just wanted to stand up and clap when I heard this, even after the second time I heard it. This clip is from, again, the city council meeting where you heard Mr. Hollingsworth speak on why he opposes data centers and kind of his view of it. And it seems like he's got a decent background, so he does know a little bit about it. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, Mr. Hollingsworth, I know that you had your hand up to talk.
Hello, my name is Will Hollingsworth. I work at Reed Memorial Library, and thank you all for hearing me today. I'm not a cynic when it comes to technology. My love for it started when my uncle first sat me down at a beige Windows 95 computer and began teaching me HTML. I will never forget the first thing I Googled. It was an image search for pigs flying. I wanted to see if the internet could make the impossible real. This love of the digital shaped my career as I went on to become a programmer and a professional content creator. For the last decade and a half, I have been in service of learning burgeoning technology. In my last job, I was the digital artist they trusted to do that kind of work. I was the one feeding Mid-Journey prompts to create the perfect commercial, training the very machine that would eventually replace me, as 3 months later, they would lay me off. I didn't just watch it happen. I was holding the tools when the tools were turned on me. I want to stress, I don't stand here as an enemy of progress. The thing is, when I look at the data center proposal, I don't see progress. I see a gamble where the big tech companies get the gold while Portage County foots the bill. Now, I know there are good faith arguments for this project. There are people in our community, informed, honest people, who will tell you that the modern data centers use what's called a closed loop system. They say the water is filled once and recycled forever. In a laboratory, that might be true, but we aren't living in a laboratory. We're living in Ohio. I can tell you that as the chips get smaller and AI demands get larger, the heat these machines generate is outstripping the closed loop theory. To keep the servers from melting, a data center has to bleed the lines to remove toxic sludge, aka forever chemicals, and bleeding water needs to be evaporated. It does not stay in the loop. It evaporates into the sky by millions of gallons. The very place that laid me off was an organic mattress company. And while working for them, I actually learned a lot about forever chemicals. I got to see how the sausage gets made. I saw the inside of those so-called regulations. I saw how rigorous studies are often self-funded, a pay-to-play model where if you've got the cash, they'll give you the certificate. Mm-hmm. If $1 trillion company is funding the study that says their forever chemical runoff won't hit our water table, they aren't giving us the science, they're giving us a sales pitch. We're told that we have to accept this because we need big employers. We're told that if we don't say yes, we're driving away the future. But that's a false choice. A big employer who uses the water of 50,000 people, which, by the way, is a combination of both Kent and Ravenna, only hires about 10 people, is not an employer. They are an extraction. We are being asked to fund a 21st century luxury with a 19th century resource heist. We are being asked to sacrifice the lifeblood of our city so $1 trillion company can save a fraction of a cent on its margins. We are being asked to drain our reservoirs so a chatbot can write a poem or so our sheriff can generate a picture of himself standing next to Bigfoot. Which, by the way, of course, he made himself look taller. They want us to trust a $1 trillion industry that tells us with a straight face that they can suck 5 million gallons of water out of our ground a day, use it as a liquid heat sink, and return it to our rivers without a single consequence. They are asking for a measured approach while they hide their actual usage behind secret contracts and NDAs. Ohioans have seen this trick played before. We know what happens when massive utility interests and black box energy deals gets fast-tracked behind closed doors. We're still paying the bill, literally, for the first energy scandal. We were told these bailouts were essential and measured too, and it turned out to be the largest racketeering plot in the history of our state. So when $1 trillion company asks for our water, our electricity, and our silence, we shouldn't just be asking for the facts. We should be asking who's really getting the kickback and why is it our reservoir that's on the line? There is a reason the Ohio House just voted 88-0 to pause and study this industry. It wasn't an act of cynicism. It was an act of stewardship. They realize we cannot let these ghost towns move in then before we understand the damage they do to our grid and our water table. We are the county seat. We are the stewards of the Great Lakes Basin. Let Ravenna be the city that had the wisdom to say no to the bubble and yes to the basin. I am not a cynic when it comes to technology. I am a believer in community. I believe that a drop of clean water for a Ravenna child is worth more than 1 billion AI-generated images. Let us choose the child. Let us choose the community. Let us choose to keep our water where it belongs. Thank you.
Wait for it.
Thank you. All right, who wants to follow that?
Sorry, I'll pass.
Future
wow. Here's what I got to say
politician
about that.
there.
Oh, I don't even have it. Yeah, there it is. I felt as I'm listening to it again, I felt like it should be playing like Star Spangled Banner or America the Beautiful or something behind there, but I figured to give him the clear space that he needs. That was well written and very well said.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Ravenna is leaving it. So they've moved the issue forward for vote, and Ravenna City Council will have a special meeting on April 20th to vote on the moratorium. Sounds like it was a friendly room.
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to vote for at least a 1-year moratorium on building anything.
Sure. I hope.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, it didn't sound like anyone was really booing him or anything. So I think keep an eye on that. Oh, that was good. Good points. And that's what I've been saying. Like, okay, it's a closed loop system, but what happens when the water gets dirty? And then we talk about the EPA, the Ohio EPA trying to give data centers a more loose regulations on where they can dump this water that he just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry. Pay the bill and do it the correct way. You got trillions of dollars. You're making trillions of dollars. Make them do it. Now, the problem is, will they come to Ohio? And if they don't, then they don't. Moving on the same topic, we're still watching. Well, we've watched. Now that's Ravenna. We've talked about Lorain County. We've talked about Southern Ohio, next to Cincinnati. They're looking at putting more into Norton County. We've talked about data centers. Here's another one, Lake County. Lake County community upset over proposed data center location. Let's just go right into the News Channel 5 clip about the data center in Perrysburg, I believe. No, that's not Perrysburg, Lake County. It is, yeah.
It's Lake County. Perrysburg is, they have Perry Township.
It's not Perrysburg, it's Perry.
Yeah.
Perry
Township.
Perry in Lake County, yeah. That's it. All right, here we go.
Wally Siegel has called Perry home his entire life. He's seen
a lot of changes.
But he told me he's never seen so many residents so upset.
Angry, very angry. They felt like everything was kept from them. Nobody was being upfront with them.
He's talking about a proposed 6-building data center right in the heart of the community. Just last week, we showed you a packed Perry Village Council meeting where people turned out looking for answers. Siegel told me he is not opposed to a data center in Perry, but he is opposed to the location.
It should go down by the nuclear plant. If they build it down there, I don't think anybody would complain. Putting it in the middle of the town like this is just wrong.
Morris Beveridge III is a Lake County commissioner. He also lives in Perry Village. And speaking as a resident, he told me,
I'm personally against this project at this time, at this location. Not necessarily against data centers.
The mayor told us he wasn't expecting this outcry over a deal with a California developer set to buy land from the village, Perry Township, and the Joint Economic District.
What drew me to it was, it's just computers in a building.
The mayor said last week the data center campus could fill funding gaps for the fire district, basic services, and schools.
Power plant money has been slowly going away year after year after year.
I went to the school superintendent today.
It's a hot topic within the Perry community because it brings about a lot of different opinions and strong feelings. And at the end of the day, our role is to advocate for our kids in our school district.
Todd Porcello told me the school board has been doing their homework.
We've brought in experts at different board meetings, tax experts, to try to learn as much as possible about data centers, right? And then how do we advocate for school and kids?
As for how much money the school district could expect from this project, it's too early to tell.
So school funding is complex. The village in their town hall meeting had said that we could receive up to $10 million. And that is just a very basic calculation. We believe that it will be less than that, especially if the land is abated and different pilots that would come in. And we're still trying to talk with the right experts to get the actual number of what we can expect there.
And this is not a done deal. Of course, we will continue to follow developments here. In Perry, Tracy Carlos, News 5.
Yeah, so put it in the industrial area. No, they want to put it right in the middle of the county and the city. Now, the issue...
Yeah, why? Just cheap land?
Cheaper land, and it's from previous reports, I think there's another... If you look at the article, there's 2 videos reports in here. One from earlier where they showed that city council meeting. I took the later one because it's more up to date. But they got some people are not happy at this meeting. From what this other report shows, is this land has been empty for a couple of decades. Passed up it used to be a nursery and that went out of business. And they said something about even being passed up for a tomato farm. Why, I don't know. But it's literally, they're saying right in the middle of town, you have this humongous industrial site. Like, no, we don't want it. Put it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's awful.
And it's a hard choice because you look in a lot of these areas. Cleveland's doing okay. Columbus doing okay. Akron, you go out west and Dayton area, Toledo, they're hurting. Rural areas are hurting. Another story I kind of
data center's not your answer though.
Yeah, I get it. It's a short term.
Yes.
Labor groups like them because it brings workers in. There's temporary jobs there. A couple years temporary, not a couple months or anything, but still.
But are they hiring people from the township, or are they just bringing people in? I mean,
I would say more than likely, I'm sure there's some, but the technical expertise to work on a data center, I'm sure there's probably not a ton of people in Perry that have it. That's a specialty kind of thing. I'm not saying anything about the people in Perry, but I would say no. Most of them might be local, but I also heard a lot of them are remote. So they're employees to that data center, but you're not paying into taxes. And there's the one thing that they brought up in the clip.
The other thing is you got some tax dollars coming from it, but it's not like you're building right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not building something that's going to revitalize an area at all. Because let's say you build a shop that manufactures something. You have 200 employees. Well, they got to go to lunch, right? They got to shop after work to their groceries. They're going to stop and get something to eat after work.
They're going to stop and get a certain area. They can't, you're not going to live 4 hours away, that kind of stuff. So they're more local to the community.
Yeah. And there's other businesses are going to thrive on stuff like that. A data center is just putting a ghost town in a ghost town.
So the only advantage I see, that's all great points, is that when you give a company a tax abatement, especially like a property tax abatement, what you're betting on is the city or the local municipality is going to get money from income tax from people who work and pay taxes in the city they work in.
Right.
You're not going to have that. If you give them tax abatements on property tax, and a lot of times they don't give you 100%. You get 70% off your taxes.
It might be for the first 10 years or something like that too.
What is the community getting for giving up all this fertile farmland or whatever it may be? If you're going to give them tax abatements, they're not paying much taxes. I'm not sure besides the short-term gain with construction jobs, I'm not sure what it is, what the advantage is.
Yeah, that's why people have to pay attention to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of people are waking up to how important it is to think local.
Well, the more people talk about it, the more people will be aware, obviously. So it's a good thing.
There was another story about the tax abatement or, the taxing and stuff that I kind of took out just for time, but we talked about it before. And he brings up the way he's a labor organizer. He's a union construction organizer for one of the locals out there. And he's like, yeah, we're hurting out here. I get it. But at what cost? At what cost?
Right.
20 years down the road? I don't know. And we'll go into one more thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't even know if it's going to be 20 years, buddy.
Yeah.
It's this technology is moving so fast. I don't even think they're going to be needed.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. It is a bubble. It feels such a bubble. It's going to pop and everybody's going to be caught with her.
I think it's the article you're talking about, or the that you pulled it out. Somebody was talking about because he said, in the 50s or 40s we had an industrial revolution, but now we have a technology revolution, tech revolution. And it's like, it's not really a tech revolution. It's not that. I mean, you're making construction jobs, which is great, but it's not going to change much.
How's it a tech revolution when you're putting buildings full of computers? Like, how is that a revolution? Like industrial revolution, I get what he's saying. There is a tech
you were building things. Now you're just building shells.
You were building things to build things.
Yeah.
Now we're just building things to sit and suck our resources for what?
Well,
like we were building a drop of water for.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. Talk.
Well, we'll get even crazier then. We'll get even crazier because it gets even worse.
Oh, okay.
On the next story. Who's paying for all these infrastructure upgrades? This is a story from WOSU, again, another PBS NPR affiliate. And story is Ohio Consumers Council says power line proposal will cost electric consumers. And basically what they break down is there's a plan, AEP and First Generation joint venture, to put in some new high tension power lines throughout the state. Mm-hmm. The joint venture would cost $1.1 billion. And the findings indicate much of the need is driven by artificial intelligence data centers. Ohio Consumers, this is Maureen Willis with the Ohio Consumers Council, told WOSU, Ohio consumers could end up paying a very large share, about 60%. Think about 60% of 1.1 billion is about $660 million. Great math. And then that doesn't even take into account local projects that would need to support it. For example, this is me talking, not the article, Intel. We were talking about Intel and how, when it was going to be built. This is months ago. Mm-hmm. One of the things that New Albany did was spend a whole ton of money, pass a school levy to improve their schools and expand them because they knew that people were going to be moving in. They needed to pay for roads, expand the roads. They had a 2-lane road that went out to New Albany that is now a 4-lane highway, basically. It's not really a highway, but it's 4 lanes with a median, high speed, like 50 miles an hour. And I talked to some of the guys that go in there, and they're talking like, did you ever think one day that this over here would be a 4-lane highway, a high speed? Like, no, it's always been a country road. So they had to pay for all that. The city and the county had to pay for all that. So this doesn't even count for that kind of stuff. This is going to be put on your bill. 60% of this will be put on your bill as the transmission costs. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to take the money and spread it out throughout their consumers. And that's got a lot of work. Well, a lot of the raising of your electric bills is this stuff, if you look at it. Not necessarily a per kilowatt hour. It's this extra fees when they're building this new infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of that's stopping because the people are pushing back on it. And there's some bills that would take care of this, even on a national level and even in Ohio. And then even our Mr. Hollingsworth, he points out that they put a pause on approving any new data centers, sounds like in Ohio, and there's 88 to nothing in the Ohio legislature or at the House. So it is changing a little bit. People are pushing back. It's working. So keep it up, people, is what I'm saying. Yep. Keep it up because they're listening for once.
Awesome.
For once. All right. Let's see. We can check off a couple of these here now, can't we? Are we going into, yeah. So who pays power lines? We got that. Let's start with, Ohio, ODOT. ODOT is camera happy. Camera freaking happy. This is a Fox 8. Yeah, I do have a clip. Fox 8 article and a report. New traffic backup cameras coming to Northeast Ohio. No, not the backup cameras like you have on your car. This is a traffic backup camera. And this also brings up another kind of a little side note, which is a major infrastructure project that's going to start happening in Cleveland. That's going to mess everything up. And they'll kind of bring it up a little bit in this. But here's a clip from ODOT backup cameras from Fox 8.
Is bringing new technology to Northeast Ohio aimed at helping drivers know what's ahead.
New traffic warning cameras have been implemented elsewhere around the state, and officials say they're making a difference. Fox 8's Rex Smith is live along I-90 in Cleveland with the very latest for us tonight. Rex?
Gabe and Tracy, these warning system cameras are going to be placed along I-90 in the east and westbound lanes all around downtown Cleveland. They'll also be placed in the north and southbound lanes of the Jennings Freeway coming in and out of downtown Cleveland. And there is a strategy behind that. It all has to do with upcoming construction projects. Those projects include the central interchange construction coming to I-90 in downtown between East 9th and Carnegie Avenue. That's going to be starting very soon. Also, another project is pavement replacement work coming to I-77 in 2027. For that project, the suggested detour will include State Route 176 or the Jennings Freeway. The way these cameras work is they detect when traffic is backing up in a specific area. That sends a message to ODOT's control center and triggers a warning message a few miles back on a dynamic message sign. Brent Kovacs, the spokesman for ODOT District 12, says these cameras have been placed along highways in other parts of the state since they first came out in 2024, and the stats show they have reduced crashes and near misses.
Messages like traffic slow down ahead, traffic stopped ahead, crash ahead, different messages like that will help you alert to maybe get off the highway or expect a slowdown right in front of you. It has a huge safety benefit to motorists in the area at a very low cost.
Very low cost.
That low cost is $1.6 million. Kovacs says that they'll begin putting up these cameras and either retrofitting electronic signs that are already in place or putting up new ones in August is when they'll start that, and it should take about a year to complete.
I don't know. What kind of brought this to my attention, it's weird how you notice things in life, and then when you're looking through the news stories, all these stories pop up. I think we're getting a little crazy with the cameras. I do understand what they're trying to do, and this is it's kind of cool in some ways. You're going to have cameras watch the freeway, and then if you start getting a backup, a couple miles ahead of that backup, you can get a sign that says, slow down, watch for stop traffic, that kind of stuff. Which nowadays,
I think it's more important that if you get it earlier, that you could get off the highway and take another route, which is what I use Waze for. But sometimes Waze is a little behind.
Yeah. Especially when I think about 40% of the people are paying more attention to their phones than the road. Is what I noticed.
Yeah.
I have a strategy when I'm on the freeway and I see somebody on their phone, I just beep my horn profusely. Beep, 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 beep. And they go, oh my gosh, what? Just go, hi. Hey, remember how you're supposed to be driving now? And so there's that. I have seen these in other states. I don't know if they have cameras, but I've seen, hey, there's a pileup coming up. And again, I have Waze, so I was probably already off the freeway. But there's another one. The next story is from Channel 10 News TV out of Columbus. This is about a Franklin County. ODOT installs more than 30 new cameras across Franklin County to curb wrong way drivers. And I thought, do you really have that many that go the wrong way on the freeway? I know it happens a couple times a year, but
it happens probably more than often than that. We just hear about it a couple times a year.
Sure, but they don't tell you.
I don't know if you need cameras for that, but boy.
It says last year, ODOT Press Secretary Matt Burning said the cameras help make the highways safer for drivers. It says since announcing cameras across they announced this. They started this in 25 last year, and they're starting to put cameras on the the on ramps so that they can see if somebody goes on the wrong way. It'll trigger the camera to alert state patrol or patrols, whatever, highway patrol, and then they'll come out quicker than having somebody call. Somebody see them on the road and call. Which, again, is good. I'm just I kind of think gosh, you're going to put 30 cameras up. It's 15 exits, 5, maybe not that many exits. But
maybe just on the exits where it's easy to do that.
Or it's happened before, yeah.
Yeah, there are entrance ramps that are if you're not familiar with the area, you really have to pay attention. If somebody's had a couple.
Yeah, even without, there's a couple, I don't know how many of them in Ohio. There's a couple where you have the on-ramp and the off-ramp are next to each other at the traffic light with a wall in between. There's one for 176 over in Parma. And you could, if you're not paying attention, you could make a left and turn onto the off-ramp go on the freeway the wrong way. So I get it. Yep. But it just says somewhere in here that it's one of those things okay, I'm thinking how many a year how many people do they catch going the wrong way on the freeways in Ohio in a year, or in Franklin County, let's say? Does it justify 30 cameras? And all they say is it's been on the rise. So then I go ding, 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 ding. Wait a minute. Is this ODOT just trying to burn through their budget so they can get the same increase next year?
Yeah, could be.
I was sitting at a traffic light. That's what I was bringing up earlier. I was sitting at a traffic light when picking my daughter up from school. And when just sitting there looking around, and I started counting the cameras at the traffic light, and there were 6. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 cameras at the traffic light. There was 1 camera for each way. It was a 4-way traffic light. 1 camera for the traffic light. For the traffic light system, I should say. There was, so that's 4. There was a camera on the one telephone pole, like a security camera looked like. And then just past the intersection, there was a speed camera.
Yeah.
I was like, this is getting a little out of hand, people. I'm like, geez.
You know what? Like there are streets I drive through that have the cameras for traffic control. Mm-hmm. And it's much better than it used to be.
They work pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you'd be stopping for no reason. Mm-hmm. And now it's, the lights stay green. Stays green if there's nobody, nobody needs to make a turn, the other way. It does make traffic patterns better.
Yes. It also gives, who taps into those? That's always the question when they started putting them up in my neighborhood years ago. Yeah. I'm like, well, who has access to that? Well, it's never going to be used for police. It's never going to be used for policing. It's just going to be used for traffic. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I've watched 24, the show 24, and that documentary, and they use them all the time. And that was in the 90s.
What was that show that Caviezel was on that used camera technology?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't,
I forgot the name of the show.
Yeah, where they had this,
it was a supercomputer that knew things were going to happen before they happened.
Yeah, by listening into people's conversations, watching.
Watching and listening, and So
that was a pretty good show.
That was a good show for a network show. That was good.
I don't know. I get this for safety, and it probably will help. Definitely getting cops out there sooner for somebody driving the wrong way in the freeways is helpful. We're not far behind Europe and England. There's like 15 cameras in every corner.
Yeah, they're using it in different ways, though.
Yes, that's true. But all you have to do is get the cameras up there, and then eventually, you can start using them in any way you want. I don't know.
Yeah, if the technology's there, though, right? I don't know if the technology's there.
If we're not watching, that's my problem. If we're not watching, they're going to be taking advantage of it. And we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it's for your safety. Your safety. All right, let's move on to a couple of bills here. It's not technically Critter Corner because there's only a couple bills I threw in here, but I wanted to get these out of the way before they get too old. And I didn't
Person of interest. Sorry, I had to look that up. It was bugging me.
Oh, yeah, person of interest. Yep. Let's check these off. So we have, of course, good thing I checked because our list reminded me to share the show, subscribe, send it to your friends, leave us a comment on your favorite podcast app. Check out the website, crookedrivercast.com. Check out the blog every Monday when the show drops. Along with the blog, you can follow along. Read the news stories that we're talking about. Watch all the videos and see how the guy does look like he spent way too much time in his mom's basement and still lives in his mom's basement. Talking to Casey. And tell us what you think. What more could we cover? Give us some feedback on any shenanigans going on in your neighborhood. Maybe it'll make it on the show. We appreciate you listening. You really do. Share it with your friends. Help it grow. Appreciate it. Next on the list, Ohio floats universal regulatory sandbox. So we have a story here for a couple of bills, one in the House and one in the Senate. This is from Ohio.news. The Ohio Senate considers legislation to create a universal regulatory sandbox to allow testing of new products and services. Short little article here. Basically, Republicans, GOP is putting in a few, there's HB176 in the House and SB90 in the Senate, both very similar. The Senate's already passed HB176 last week, sending the measure to the state Senate, which is considering its own legislation, and SB90. Senate measure is currently pending before the Senate Committee on General Government. And what it will do is kind of loosen a regulation for new products to be tested in Ohio. And I'm not sure. I kind of like it. I mean, it might spur some technological or some economical stuff going on in Ohio, but there's also, I don't know, man. So basically they want to create a board who can approve or take away these kind of extra permits for, what comes to my head is things like what I saw in Columbus. They have the food delivery robots. You heard about those?
Yeah.
So somebody tell me if you go, like, there's a part of town or a couple parts of town where a truck will pull up, they'll open the door, and all these little robots on the little, they're almost like 2 foot tall little boxes with wheels.
Yeah.
And they got lights on them, and they're like, it's Terminator. They're like, all these robots just flood out of this truck, back of this truck, and just spread out throughout the city. I'm like, well, that's gotta be crazy. That's the kind of stuff I'm thinking this is like, like new technology, new products that normally wouldn't pass regulation in Ohio, but you could get a kind of a free pass for a time to try to develop it, which would spur companies coming to Ohio, I would think. Any feedback on this, Tom? What do you think about it? I don't know.
Oh, no, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, I like it. It's done right, of course. I guess we're going to look at it in the Senate and probably going to put both bills together, pass it, and send it back to the House, and we'll see if DeWine signs it. But it sounds like it's going to pass. Maybe, hey, guess what? Maybe we can have some new innovative data centers in Ohio.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll keep an eye on that. That might bring up some new economical opportunities in Ohio. Kind of would be kind of cool, I think. Moving on, next one we have here, our Idea Stream story. Start with a little clip here, but the lead investigator of state employees in Ohio would get new power under a Republican bill. And this one, I kind of like it. So let's listen to Idea Stream, what they have to say. Inspector General, new powers.
Ohio loses tens of millions of dollars a year to fraud committed by employees of state agencies, boards and commissions, and universities. 2 Republican lawmakers have sponsored a pair of bills in the House and Senate to give the agency that investigates those crimes more authority and tools. The bills would define the Inspector General as a peace officer in Ohio, giving that office the same power to go to court and request search warrants and subpoenas for electronic records such as emails and texts that law enforcement has. IG Randy Meyer says that's especially important with so many crimes happening quickly and online.
Granting the Inspector General's office law enforcement authority will enable the office to seek search warrants directly from the courts and make these investigations more efficient and effective.
Meyer says the IG's office has already budgeted for required peace officer training for the staff. The IG says it got 368 complaints last year, resulting in 61 criminal charges and more than $10 million in losses. Karen Kessler at the Ohio Public Radio State House News Bureau.
Sounds like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're losing $10 million a year, I think you can justify a little bit extra money to get the guy trained and give him some new powers. And then the question goes, why didn't he have this already? What's the point of having an Inspector General if he has no power? I don't understand. So good. I think watching our government with under magnifying glass would always be a good thing. So keep up with that. It doesn't say. So we got 2 bills again. House Bill 683 and Senate Bill 350. Basically kind of the similar. Would define the Inspector General as a peace officer, give him some extra powers. And let's say where it's at. Oh, Strongsville guy sponsoring SB 350, Tom Patton. I thought I remember them saying it was in committee, but I can't see it now. But looks like they're just debating it, though. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it comes through. That would be something interesting. And well needed, I think. All right, on to the next one. Get rid of this. Check that. All right, next one here is Ohio. Cleveland is growing, Tom.
We're losing pets, though.
Well, no, but it's one problem solves the other problem.
That made no sense.
Well, it kind of does, because if you... So the story is WKYC. Greater Cleveland population sees modest growth, fueled by... Interesting phrase. Interesting. International migration. What is international migration? Well, let's listen to the clip and see what she explains it. Yeah, Cleveland is growing. Oh, you can listen, because she almost slips up, but she catches herself.
Back here in Northeast Ohio, new numbers show Cleveland's population is finally ticking up, but the growth is not coming from where you might expect.
Yeah, new census data shows international migration is driving that increase and bringing thousands of new people to Greater Cleveland. Kristen Moran takes a closer look at what's behind this trend.
The Cleveland metro area is growing. New census data shows more than 5,000 people migrated to Northeast Ohio from other countries. But after factors like deaths and other residents moving out, that came to a net gain of about 2,500 people.
Something is happening right in this community, and people are feeling that this could be a place where they could find their homes.
For Joe Simperman with Global Cleveland, this is personal. His parents immigrated to Cleveland, and now he helps others do the same.
And the people that we work with are people who have work permits, people that are looking to continue their studies, people that are looking to open businesses. And it's the only way I think that Cleveland and Northeast Ohio is going to stay competitive, is that we keep growing.
Most of that growth is happening in Cuyahoga County, adding more than 4,200, far outpacing surrounding counties.
Why we need and so over the course of the last 15 years, we've seen people coming here from Ukraine, people coming here from Afghanistan, people coming here from Congo, people coming here from Central and South America.
But this isn't just about population. It's about the workforce.
What we're seeing in the last couple of years is the growth of businesses in our region have created a condition where we have more jobs than we have people. People is our number one issue.
Beju Shah with Greater Cleveland Partnership says companies across the region are still struggling to find workers, and says international migration is helping fill that gap.
It's really at all levels that immigrants are participating in our region's economy, and it's at all levels that we need more people. There's not a single place that we encounter in our economy where businesses are telling me they've got enough workforce.
And leaders say keeping that momentum going will be key to the region's future.
It's a great start to have 3 years in a row of growth, but the growth is still not sufficient, and we need to sustain it.
In Cleveland, Krista Moran, 3 News.
I call BS. For a couple of reasons.
Okay.
You're telling me, so we have all these jobs, but no people to fill them. That's bull. That is complete crap. I know for a fact that's complete crap. We try to hire people, and we can't get anybody to stick. Nobody shows up. Look. I talked to the union halls, and they can't get people to show up. They get people to show up, and they want to do a mechanical aptitude test, and people go, "You crazy? I don't have to do that. I'm out of here."
You know what we see is people. You hire somebody, they're good for a month or so, and then all of a sudden they start missing days here and there, and a week here, coming in late, not feeling well. They need to leave early, like little children.
Like once they get back on their feet from being out of work, now they get back to their old habits, and they start. Oh, I can miss a day here and miss a day there.
Yeah, not for long.
I've seen guys leave where I work and go to a union contractor.
Yeah.
And then once they figure out how many days they have to work to hit that, like what they used to make, then they start calling off 2 days a week, a day a week. It's like, come on, you don't want to get ahead. But here's more proof. This is a story from our webmaster here. Hold on this for a minute. It says 10 unhappiest cities in the United States. Guess who's on it? Cleveland. And one of the reasons they're saying, that people in Cleveland aren't happy is because of economic instability. But the guy just said we need more people because we don't have enough people to fill the jobs, and people are filling out polls saying they're unhappy because of economic instability. So which one is it? I don't get it. Yeah, I think there's a whole lot of people that don't want to work.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
And
you do need people. You have to. They have to be vetted to get in here.
Oh yeah,
it needs to be a merit system.
Legal. Yeah. Immigration, not international migration, illegal immigration.
I don't see the people of the Congo trying to assimilate and get a job.
And like we talked before, a lot of it has to do with the way they bring people in now. There's no sponsorship anymore. And in the past, these are the people that filled a lot of these jobs, is the immigrants that came in. They're low-level jobs. They're you're not making $100,000 a year as an immigrant coming over working on a construction line or an assembly line or whatever. So that's who we need. But we need, like you say, we need to vet them. And the other thing that pops in my head is I'm hearing Trump and the national level is they've got some strategy for temporary workers, for farmers.
Yeah.
Did you hear what they want to do?
No.
They want to let the farmers bring temporary workers over the border.
Right.
But guess who has to vouch for those workers? The farmer.
The farmer. That's good.
Yeah. That's exactly what. Then he's tied to those people, and he needs to make sure. And he's the one who gets. That's kind of similar how like your parents came. Somebody had to sponsor you. Somebody had to be responsible for you. If you didn't.
Well, my parents sponsored a couple of people when they came to America. They were. My father was sponsored to come here. I mean, that sponsor is responsible for you. If you don't get a job, that sponsor is the one who's feeding you and housing you.
Yeah, you're not getting food stamps. You weren't getting food stamps.
And it's a sponsor. My father sponsored, one was a relative, one was like a friend. And, they don't want you to be responsible for them. So they're obligated to go get a job and find their own place and make their own life. Right. And one of them is a multimillionaire that my parents sponsored. The other one worked here for a short while and decided to go back.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And that's great. And that's how it should be, because they're not going to be tied to this. They're not going to be draining the system that's already broken, the welfare system. So I don't know. I saw these two together. I'm like, oh, now I can bring this story in. This makes sense. Oh, there's no jobs. There's no people to fill the jobs, but people in Cleveland are unhappy because there's no jobs. I don't get it. And to be honest, it's just a stupid study from this called Newsbreak is the website.
Well, I think Cleveland is oftentimes one of the unhappiest. I think it's mainly the weather.
I think it's a lot to do with it. They don't even bring that up, really. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a different kind of study, I guess. But, you don't have sunny days, enough sunny days. Yeah. Even if you have winter, it's just freaking gray. And I think that's a big reason for that.
And then the original reason I was going to bring this story up is because all these cities have something in common.
What's that?
Well, let's go through them here. You got Detroit. I don't know if this is ranked, but the first was Detroit. Second, Cleveland. See, we couldn't be number one at that. Second or third on the list is St. Louis. Next is, Baltimore. Next is Newark, New Jersey. Then Memphis, Tennessee. That might be the only exception, but I'm not sure. And Birmingham, Alabama, maybe. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Chicago, Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure most of those are blue cities, no? Sanctuary cities?
I don't know of any that are major cities that are Republican. Red.
Yeah, there really aren't. The only thing I can think of is maybe Birmingham because it is Alabama.
San Diego.
Oh yeah, San Diego's not. Memphis could be because it's Tennessee, but it is a city, so it kind of brings back to they always have the.
No, Memphis is definitely blue.
Is it
a sanctuary city? I don't know, but
yeah, it's definitely blue there. I don't know. I only would question it, but I'm pretty sure it is. It does bring back. They always bring up like always had a top 10 most impoverished city in America. It would come out when I was over the years. You'd always look at them like. Why 9 out of 10 of them Democrat-run cities and have been Democrat-run cities for like 70 years?
Oh, Chicago's probably like the worst,
100.
right?
It's probably like 100 years. Cleveland's not even that bad. It's only been 30 years.
Yeah.
Because we had Mayor White.
Going great.
Yeah. Speaking of going great, there is a petitioner. They're filing a petition in Cleveland to recall Mayor Justin Bibb. And one of the main reasons I pulled this story is because did you see the picture in the story? Do you see what he's holding?
No, I didn't. No, I couldn't see that. What is that? Recall the Bibble head.
The Bibble head. He's got a graphic of Bib as a bobblehead. But let's listen to a little idea stream. Go ahead.
I didn't get this. I listened to it. I read it, and I was like, "What is going on here?"
Well, after we talk about economic and growing and all jobs but no people, unhappiness. So these guys have a petition, and let's listen to what they're unhappy about.
A group trying to recall Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb says he's failed residents. I'm IdeaStream Public Media's Abby Marshall, reporting on Monday's heated press conference outside City Hall. Community activist Juan Diaz says Bibb, who was just reelected in November, has lost trust among some Clevelanders.
Residents have raised serious questions about priorities, about travel, staffing decisions, and growing disconnect between City Hall and the people it serves.
Council questioned Bibb in February about travel expenses surpassing $120,000 for the mayor in 2025. As Diaz spoke, several Cleveland pastors shouted over him that he was wasting time. Diaz ignored the protesters, but co-organizer Daryl Houston approached the men and began yelling back, abruptly ending the press conference.
Whoops.
The petition needs at least 8,500 signatures to move forward. The mayor's office declined to comment. Abby Marshall, IdeaStream Public Media.
So here he has a press conference, and that's his biggest problem with Mayor Bibb is how much he spent on travel. Now, not to say you shouldn't critique his travel budget.
No.
But he's going to have a travel budget, right? He has security and all this other stuff.
Is that a recall thing, though?
Is that a reason to recall him?
Yeah.
No. What about the poverty? How about the poverty in Cleveland? How about the Browns moving?
How about the crime?
How about crime, poverty? How about the roads? No, it's his travel. It's because he may have spent $20,000 more on travel than he should have, or whatever it was. Again, it's like they're saying like $140,000 seems high, but I don't know. Maybe what was it the year before? What was the previous administration's travel?
Let's see. We got the homeless. We have the crime stats are awful. How about the overtime, for crying out loud?
Overtime in the police department or the county sheriff. I don't know how much he has to do with that. But but I bet Cleveland
he's the one who hires the guy, right? He's the one who picks him.
He does appoint.
We don't freaking vote for the sheriff.
No, he doesn't appoint it.
The council
executive president Ronayne does. But
okay.
But I guarantee. I know we can look at. I would imagine they have an overtime problem too in Cleveland, the city of Cleveland. One of the reasons they have the overtime problem in Cuyahoga County is because they don't have enough cops in Cleveland,
right?
The city of Cleveland.
Right.
So that was the whole start of that downtown safety patrol BS. Which again, we managed to get that removed. Remember, that was along with the data center stuff. We also did the safety patrol. That was us. That was
him being a virtue signal vomit is enough for me to recall him.
Yeah, but then I'm going to go on to the next story, and I might actually agree with Mayor Bibb, because the next story is they're still debating on what to do with Burke.
Right.
And the article, the only thing I could see as a good reason to keep Burke is because of the air show. It's not a good enough reason to keep an airport in that location only. And the article is from Fox 8. Why the air show can't just move if Burke Lakefront Airport closes. So I get it can't just move. So it basically, if we close Burke, there's no more air show in Cleveland.
Right.
So I get that. And their argument is it generates $17.9 million for Greater Cleveland, including $2.3 million in tax revenue when the air show comes. Now, I would almost guess, I'd have to guess, I not guarantee. I would guess those are like the best numbers. Like if you have a perfect weekend, you're going to get those numbers. What if it rains all weekend? You're not going to get that. Now, the kicker to that is in a recent forum on the airport, Mayor Bibb says the city loses $2 million a year from the airport.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It costs the city $2 million to keep that airport going.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So really, on a perfect year, on a perfect weekend for the air show, the city will maybe clear $300,000 a year. Because if they're paying $2 million, and that $2 million washes out to $2 million of the 2.3, and you're like, So really, and on a bad year with bad weather, it's still going to cost you money because you're not going to get those good numbers. So, I love the air show. I've been once. I think the air show is awesome. We're one of the few cities in America that actually have an air show. I'm sure there's a lot of them, but not every city has one.
Right.
It's like the perfect spot for an air show because they do all the tricks over the water. And unfortunately, we don't get any of those great like crash videos, air show crash videos when they crash into the crowd. But one proposal though is a drag strip.
Whoa.
Yeah. Here's this, again, as we stop by here every once in a while, is the worst named site in Ohio called Neotrans. They are plans. Somebody is proposing to the mayor to put in, what's it called? Shore to Roar to Shore LLC. Bid to repurpose the 450-acre city-owned Burke Lakefront Airport as a drag strip for professional top-fuel dragster and funny car racing. Now, the key to this one is it would still be an airport except for when there's an event. So it's kind of like an in-between kind of thing. But I like the guy's quote. So he proposes this to Mayor Bibb, and this guy's quote is Dan Cowlips. It's Cowlips, has to be Dan Cowlips, president of Shore to Roar, in a telephone interview told him, I done get a whoop whoop from the mayor when I told him about our plans for your Burke Lakefront Airport up there in the big bad city. I wish I had the audio clip. It would be way better. He said Big Daddy Dan Cowlips. I mean, this guy wins just for his name. He's saying, but when, this is a good one. But when asked, the mayor asked him, but when he asked me if I would offer parking for recreational vehicles, I told him, we ain't running no NASCAR here. So, this guy's a character. I don't think this is going to go anywhere, to be honest with you. It would be.
Hey, Robert. What? At the bottom of the article, it says April Fools.
Damn it.
This is a fictitious article here.
Yeah. I was waiting. I was going to get there.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I spoiled it for you.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
You did. It was good enough. It was good enough. I was getting there because there's one more paragraph, and I mean, his name's Cowlips, dude.
They can kiss my bricks. IndyCar is for the wine and cheese crowd. We race Hemis like a bullet from a varmint rifle. Not that left turn namby-pamby stuff.
And the reason I kept it in here because it did get me at first. Until I got
it did me too. Until I got to
get the hell out. This guy's name's Cowlips. Damn, that's a great name for IndyCar.
IndyCar
for wine and cheese crowd.
I was at work and I do the whole. I was having. I put it in a newsreader and then it reads it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like listening to this going, who is this talking like this? This can't be, what the heck? And then I'm like, wow, cool. A drag strip on the lake right
there.
Exactly
what I said.
Awesome.
Wow.
I'm like, that jet fuel stink would be awesome right there. And then the article's like finishing up and it says April Fools. And I'm like,
that would have been perfect. All of a sudden you're like, yeah, and it says April Fool. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It would have been great if it didn't read it like a robot.
Yeah. I mean, it had me all the way to the end. I had no idea. Because I read it like a couple of days after April Fools. I wasn't even in my head.
I wonder, like, I didn't see this come through. When did you see this come through?
I've had this in my
okay.
For, since a couple of days after April 1st. Sometimes I'll pull and I'll try to glop them together because it's not really wasn't enough of a story by itself. And then the air show came out and I'm like, ooh, and then I started reading it last night. I'm like, oh, I gotta leave it and screw it. Let's see. All right. Well,
we can plop a couple of them Christmas trees right in the middle there and run races side by side at the same time, east and west. And the best part is if the car's chute don't open, they can land in the lake water and go for a backstroke on a nice hot summer day.
That was good. It was pretty good.
Roar by the shore. What happened to the racing that we had there?
The Indy racing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I went to a couple of those. That was.
I would imagine
it was all right.
it moved because of lack of people attending.
I don't know. Well, okay, it was there 25 years.
Yeah, I went there once and it was awful.
Awful?
All you do, you bake. You just baked in the sun.
Yeah, that is an issue.
You're just in this big open air. It's like going to almost any race. I've been to a NASCAR race where you bake in the sun too. But
I was there. I was probably a young teenager, and it didn't matter. It was just cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But after an hour or so, I'm like dying over here. All right. So after that, April Fools, we're going to move on to favorite segment of the show.
We bring good things to life.
On them, their internet all breaking up again. Well, first on the good things, I don't believe this is a April Fool's story. I really hope it isn't, this first one here. And apologize because it was a tough week for good news stories. But this one I had to. Shannon Elizabeth joins OnlyFans. Maybe the kids cheering is a little bit inappropriate. But do you remember who Shannon Elizabeth is? Does anybody know?
No, not really.
Hollywood actor who played Nina on American Pie.
Yeah, was she the hot chick?
Oh yeah,
in
she
American
was a hot
Pie?
foreign exchange student.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. She was smoking hot, but that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah. So she's recently been divorced, and of course, naturally in America, when you get divorced and you're somewhat attractive, at least, you get an OnlyFans account.
You get naked.
Yeah. So she is now. If you don't remember her, I think most guys will remember her because she was the hottest one on the movie, I think. But she's a foreign exchange student living in, I think, Jim's house as the main character. And the big scene of her is when Jim he tries to record her undressing with a webcam that he accidentally sends the link to the entire school.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And then they're watching it and she starts doing more than just undressing because she's by herself.
Yeah.
Catching a drift. And then his friends are like, dude, you got to go. And he's like, what am I going to do? He goes, seduce her. Anyway, that's her.
I gotta watch that movie again. That movie was great.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that no more.
One day at band camp. So she
oh, yeah,
is.
That's right.
Yeah. So she is, she told Entertainment Tonight that as Nadia, she was playing a character and she is just not the girl who likes to be naked. Joins platform in effort to take more control over her career.
Well, I mean, you can do OnlyFans without doing raunchy stuff. I mean, she's 52. Who's she going to get there? I mean,
guys who watched who used to fill the spank bank with Nadia. That's who's going to watch OnlyFans.
I guess so,
doesn't necessarily she's going to get nude or anything, but she does say she wants to show off a more sexy side that no one's seen before. Thinking, you kind of strip down naked on the movie. I think we've seen the sexy side.
Yeah, but that's we need to see the current one, I guess.
Well, I mean,
necessarily. You know who else did this? Was that what's her name? She was in The Sopranos. The Chris's wife.
Oh, that brunette, black-haired chick?
Yeah,
I can't remember her name. No, she was. She was worth a watch.
She just did a OnlyFans thing. She's got a podcast now. She does a pretty good. I've listened to it a couple times. She gets a little bit too much into the conspiratorial stuff, like Trump-trails or chemtrails and all that. Trump-trails. What the? It's been a long day for me.
It's been a long day.
She did it, and she did sexy things. She didn't get naked though.
Yeah.
And she still looks good, but she's 50. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. I don't think she does it anymore. I can't imagine she made a lot of money from that.
I don't know. I would lean. I don't know. Guys are.
Would she be podcasting if she made a lot of money from that?
No, probably not. Probably not. She'd still be doing it. Yeah, you're right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Before you know it, in another year, Elizabeth or Shannon or whoever her name is, she's going to have a podcast soon.
Well, I hope it works out for her.
Speaking of podcasts, our next good news story has something to do with podcasts, at least. Well, maybe not a podcast, but a pawcast. Oh gosh, that's horrible. Alliance Dog Rescue after getting stuck 6 foot down in a groundhog hole. So this is our good thing story. This is how scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But it is a cool story because Alliance does it. So this woman, did you see this article? see the picture
I did not.
Of the firefighters? Yeah, pull it.
No, I did not.
So the Alliance firefighters came. So this woman went out. She had her 10-year-old Jack Russell Terrier, which is a little dog. I think they're hunting dogs. Used to be hunting dogs. And I guess saw a groundhog, and she couldn't try to hold it back, but the dog slipped its leash and chased the groundhog into the groundhog hole and got himself stuck 6 feet into the groundhog hole.
Wow.
So the Alliance Fire Department had to come out and dig him out. and if you look at the picture, you were glad to help.
That dog's lucky that people saw that, right?
Well, she was walking the dog, the chick in the picture.
And then the dog ran away from her?
Dog started pulling it into the woods with it. The dog saw the groundhog. And then when she tried to pull the dog away, the dog slipped out of its leash, out of its collar.
Oh, okay. Out of collar. Okay.
And then ran and went right down the hole. And there's all these guys covered in mud smiling with, I can imagine they were okay with helping her out.
Yeah, she's pretty nice looking.
Yeah.
Does she have an OnlyFans?
All the guys are smiling and they're like, yeah, we helped her out. Yeah, we're totally happy with the firefighters. I'm just kidding. But they would have done it regardless. I always question if that's the role of firefighters.
Who else is going to do that? They're the ones who have the tools probably.
And the time, to be honest with you. But I did have a coworker at one point tell me a story of how her Mastiff got stuck under the bed. And her husband wasn't home, so she had to call the fire department to get it out. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. Look, who else is going to do it? I'm like, I don't know, not the fire department. I'm like, how about?
No, well, I get it, but
so you had a fire department come in and lift her bed up to get the dog out.
Yeah, but they're there to rescue.
Who else do I call? I don't know. Not the
friends, but during the day, it's all right. They need something to do.
That's as I say, they do have the time most of the time.
Yeah.
Because
there isn't a raging fire every 24/7.
They're just cooking and watching TV and washing the truck. It's good because those trucks are expensive. Moving on to the last story. Bernie's back, baby. Bernie is back. So Bernie Kosar marks 5 months since his liver transplant with a cameo at the pro wrestling show at the Wolstein Center. Let's listen. Oh wait, sorry. Before I go on to that, speaking of the podcast. I found a new podcast for you, Tom. I want to listen to this. What do you think about listening to this podcast on a weekly basis? Here you go. It's a podcast.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, it gets worse.
Welcome to the 5th episode of the 19 News Podcast, where we share the stories you want to hear about our friends with fur, feathers, tails, or scales. I'm Rachel Veda, and I'm here to tell you about it each week. Now, typically, I would tell you to bark your calendar, but right now, you need to run to your closet, grab something blue.
I don't need to do anything. I don't think so. That was horrible. Anyway, sorry, I had to play. I thought that was funny. I'm definitely going to check that one out.
I'm looking for my pistol.
Yeah, I was going to. Don't shoot the microphone. Way too pricey for that.
All right. Myself.
No. Don't end the show.
Gotta end this.
So anyway, Bernie Kosar's back. He's 5 months out post his liver transplant, and what he decided to do was, well, naturally, what you do after 5 months, you go on the wrestling stage. Here you go. This is News Channel 5.
Wired up with tubes before his liver transplant 5 months ago, Bernie Kosar was hoping that he'd still be alive in 5 days, let alone in 5 months. And he can honestly say the furthest thing from his mind at that time would have been finding himself in a wrestling ring in front of thousands of cheering fans like he was last Saturday at the Wolstein Center.
Nice.
Bernie looked in charge, but I'll tell you, inside,
complete fear, bro. Complete fear. I mean,
so good.
Here we are, basically 5 months out from the liver transplant. As a young kid, I was absolutely into the wrestling and I still pay attention to it. And when they asked me, I thought, oh my God, to be able to be out there and be in an event like that for 5 hours and then be able to perform a little bit out there, never thought about that being at all possible a week before Thanksgiving in 2025.
Did you run this past your doctor?
Yes, it's good.
I did Monday, and
on Monday.
And, I love that they smiled like you.
Kosar's doctors have had reason to smile as his recovery proceeds, his visits with them now only once a month instead of once a week. And he's been able to go from a low of 155 pounds post-surgery to around 190.
There he goes.
That's good.
back up to 190. He's on his way to being a fat ass. So it sounds like he's healthy.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of weight to gain. And he's 6'5".
He's a big dude.
He's probably closer to 6'3" now, 6'2".
Yeah.
But that
sounds even so good. Looks good too.
Yeah, he sounds better than before.
Oh, he sounds better than 20 when he was doing the preseason games.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Speaking of drunk or not drunk, I always wondered, but a lot of it was the brain injuries and stuff, or the concussions and stuff. He's slurring his words. I couldn't tell if could have been a combination, but good for him.
I'm not I didn't know anything about him. I just figured he was drunk.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought too at the time. And then this thing started coming out.
Yeah.
Good for Bernie. Good to see. That was, remember the kid who died and his parents gave his liver, part of his liver, to Bernie because he was a Browns fan. So that's kind of good, heartwarming story to end the day, to end the show. Yeah. And I guess that's it. We'll talk to you guys next week. I think, I think just share the show. Check out the blog, crookedrivercast.com. Send us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. We really appreciate listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.